Who?
Sunny Friday night here at Dwire Field at Atrium Stadium. The 3-1 Lakota East Thunderhawks, coached by Rick Haynes, visiting the 2-2 Mason Comets, coached by Brian Kastner. Both teams coming off big wins. I'm Ben Haller alongside Adam Little. Adam, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a great night for some Friday night football. We've got youth football night. It's a great atmosphere. Both student sections have a great crowd. Should be a great one. And week 5 is here. We've got 5 more weeks to go. First Harbin playoff rankings are in as the season heats up.
Yeah, Lakota East coming at number 4 in those Harbin rankings. Mason at number 8. 5 GMC schools in those top 10 rankings. GMC, a powerful conference like every year. And for Lakota East tonight, they got to maximize the option. 391.5 yards per game. That's second most in the GMC. And they have 8 different players that have scored a touchdown this year. Most by far on one team in any GMC. Why don't you tell us about Mason?
Yeah, Mason, we've got a no-fly zone. Comets secondary has a great start to the year, only allowing 91 passing yards per game. That's second in the GMC. Only 2 passing touchdowns allowed on the year, and that's tied for the fewest in the GMC. And Lakota East, they run that triple option, so it doesn't look like we're going to see a lot of passing tonight.
Yeah, and our home player to watch for the Mason Comets, let's look at Kobe Lewis. Really one of the only big threats for Mason. He's got 11 receptions, 134 yards, 33.5 yards per game, and 12.2 average per carry, per reception, and he's got a couple touchdowns on the year to go along with it.
Yeah, and talking about the away player to watch, the quarterback number 1, TJ Kathman, he's leading the team in both rushing and passing yards. As we mentioned earlier, they do run that triple option, and tonight he's likely to eclipse that 1,000-yard all-purpose yards this season. 879 coming into this game with 558 passing, 328 rushing, and 11 total touchdowns.
Kathman is really someone who can do it all. Like you mentioned, he leads the team in passing and rushing, and it's going to be a fun one. The Mason Comets, Lakota East Thunderhawks. It's youth football night. Before the game, we're getting recognition for all these younger players, starting low on the long green line, and then at halftime, we got the Hall of Fame introduction, so stay tuned for that. That should be an exciting one. Mason Comets, Lakota East Thunderhawks coming up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC TV Sports. Three-pointer. Got it! In for the Comets score. Comets win! Yeah!
Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. I've attended basketball games from coast to coast over the years as a participant, broadcaster, parent, and fan. And believe me, I've seen my share of unsporting behavior. The purpose of school sports is for kids to have fun, develop their skills, and learn lessons that will last a lifetime. So when you attend a school contest, please keep that in mind. Remember to behave in a way that reflects positively on your child, your school, and your community. Let's respect the game.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Week 5 football, here we go. Lakota East Thunderhawks, Mason Comets. Like we said, I'm Ben Haller alongside Adam Little, and we're excited for this one. Both teams coming off big wins. Mason won the coin toss, chose to defer. Lakota East going to start with the ball. And Adam, what do you expect from this drive?
And you know we've got the big leg, Ryan Rominski, punting it away, hoping to pin the Thunderhawks far back. And you know that the Thunderhawks really have to rely on this triple option, you know, led by number 1 TJ Kathman. They've got Charlie Kenrich and Eric Davis, so those 3 guys are going to be huge for the Thunderhawks in their first drive.
Ryan Rominski, the hefty lefty. He's got a hefty leg, back to kick for the Comets to get this one underway. Back to receive for Lakota East going to be Cam Freeman. He's taken most of their kick and punt returns so far this year. And the Comets bench getting rowdy. Black Hole getting rowdy. Lakota East got a pretty good showing too. And we are underway here at Dwire Field. Rominski's kick going to make it to the end zone, and that's going to stop it there. Touchback coming. Lakota East gets the ball for 25.
And the Mason kicker has been a big story, especially last week. They rotated 3 different kickers. We saw Ryan Rominski there taking the kickoff duties, but Jacob Hernandez, his first ever game as a Mason Comet, he booted 3 extra points through, and the first one, Michael Timmons, he missed. But yeah, the kickers for Mason going to be an interesting storyline tonight.
Another interesting storyline. You mentioned it. TJ Kathman most likely going to eclipse that 1,000-yard all-purpose yard mark in this game. There's going to be a holdup. Officials going to discuss maybe an equipment issue early on with Lakota East before they even have a snap. Just going to tell them to tuck some jerseys in.
And right away we can see that heavy set from Lakota East. They've only got 2 receivers out, but 9 in the box, so something to look at.
They only listed 1 wide receiver in their starting lineup. They do have twins to the right, and triple read option is going to be a handoff out to the right side. It's by Nick Rabin. Rabin takes the 3rd most rushes on this team. And you look at their offense. The brothers on the left side, Austin Searveld and Aiden Searveld, a powerful duo. When you have chemistry like that as brothers, that can be big. And then you look at their triple option backfield. Eric Davis, Charlie Kenrick, and Nick Rabin, the 3 guys, the 3 running backs, going to be taking a lot of their carries. And they like to use them pretty evenly. Eric Davis does lead the team in carries. And immediately, that's going to be a handoff to Davis. Stuffed back in the backfield. So nice start for the Comets.
Yeah, and Davis tackles Davis there. Eric Davis taking the hand up, and we got the Mason starting lineup. The 2 powerful linebackers, Jake Bates and Cade Evans. Strong secondary for the Comets. Juniors, J.C. Deaton and Zach Rogers, joined by the senior Guido Jackson. As we said before, 2nd in the GMC in passing yards allowed this season.
Lakota East heading back into that triple option. Eric Davis, the running back behind Kathman. Kathman's going to roll out, keep it himself, looking for a little dump off to Davis. He's got it. Davis pushing for the 1st down, and he got it.
Yeah, and wide open, the fullback, Eric Davis. It was a one-on-one with Zach Rogers, and Eric Davis has the size and power as he trucks through him, just barely able to get a Thunderhawk 1st down.
You can already see that offensive line the Lakota East's offense is known for. To have a good triple option, you've got to have that offensive line. We see Coleraine has had it this whole decade. Lakota East coming with it now, and Mason's a team that's struggled against that triple option, in the past. This time, Kenrich and Davis both in the backfield. They're just going to give it to Davis. He tries to power through, but a swarm of Comets there. Nice job by the defensive line of the Comets.
And that one led by Guido Jackson, the corner and the linebacker, Caden Evans, 2 seniors on a pretty young Mason defense. Talking about that, we've got Aaron Spears at the D-line, Caden Davis, both juniors, Kyle Elko and Will Ott seniors. Missing Bryce Falk. He was really one of the heavy hitters last year as a sophomore, and he has a lower back injury, so Comets hoping to have him back as soon as possible.
Kenrick and Rabin back to that wing position. Motion from Kenrick, going to be a handoff to one of their backup backs. Taken down by Caden Evans, getting through the offensive line. That's something he does best.
And that's 2 straight tackles for the senior, Caden Evans. First captain selected for the Comets, and that shows a lot about his character and not only his play. So 2 tackles there, and that's going to force a long 3rd and 9 for the Lakota East.
Looks like it's a 3rd and 9 coming up for Lakota East. They don't like to throw the ball a whole lot, but when they do, they're very efficient, very effective. It's a shotgun formation. Quick pass, and it's intercepted. Down the sideline and pushed out of bounds at the Thunderhawk 30.
And that one going to be on Weston Simmons, the junior safety. As you can see there, eyes on the ball, and he just picks that one out of his hands. Or Mikey Jones, excuse me.
So it was Simmons indeed, and it's his first interception on the year. He's someone who's expected to have a pretty good year, is only a junior coming in.
And Weston Simmons has some football in his background. His dad, the special teams coach for the Bengals.
So Larson Brown back at quarterback after missing a couple games and immediately throwing a pass to the man who took over as quarterback the last few games, Michael Molnar. That quick pass incomplete. Yeah,
and as we're talking about leaving the game against Coleraine, suffered a concussion, didn't play last week, but Michael Molnar, who we throw in the Mason starting offense, we saw Michael Molnar played quarterback last week, but he's going to be lined up at receiver this week. Larson Brown at quarterback. So that's something to look at. Michael Molnar, 3 rushing touchdowns last week at the quarterback position.
Twins to the right, no receivers to Brown's left. And it's going to be a handoff up the middle. Sailors, he's breaking through. He's to the 10, inside the 5, and we tackled at about the 2-yard line. So 2 quick plays. One's an incompletion and one's about a 28-yard run from Sailors, the junior. Comets, first and goal inside the 5.
And you know, coming into this year, the Comets, unsure of who that lead back was going to be, but Nick Sailors has progressively throughout the year emerged as the favorite. Had a big game last week against Middletown, and that run there looking to set up some success tonight.
It's going to be under center snap once again. Sailors gets it again, trying to find the end zone. He does. So 3 plays for Mason's offense is enough to get him into the end zone. Nick Sailors, back-to-back big runs.
And Nick Sailors, 64 attempts, 334 yards coming into this year, only 2 touchdowns, but that's going to make it 3. And as we saw the replay there, just powers through. And that's going to put the Comets on the board 6-0.
There was a question mark into who would be kicking these extra points. Coming into the game, looks like it's going to be the senior Jacob Hernandez, and he punches it through. So only 4 minutes into the game, Comets take a 7-0 lead over Lakota East Thunderhawks. Nick Sailors getting it done as only a junior.
Exactly, Nick Sailors, the junior. You've got a little bit of a running back party. There's Brian Negbert sometimes. The linebacker, Jake Bates, getting a few snaps. And how about the sophomore, Mikey Jones? But that one's going to be taken by the junior Sailors as he powers it in for the first touchdown of the game from the Comets.
So this is exactly the start Mason wanted to get. Getting a big turnover against Lakota East, powerful offense, especially with Kathman. If you can make Kathman make mistakes like that, get his head out of the game, he's an early candidate for GMC Player of the Year.
Exactly. You know, before this game, Ben, we were talking. We got a great defense going up against a great offense, and it's really going to be which one plays better tonight. And the Comets' defensive line and linebackers looking really strong in that first drive. And if Lakota East wants to come out on top, they're going to have to power through that Mason strong defensive line.
So Ryan Rominski usually does the kickoffs for the Comets. Southpaw gets the second kickoff of the game. Same exact result, bouncing out of the back of the end zone. Lakota East will try again at the 25.
And that's 2 straight touchbacks for Ryan Rominski. Touching back on the Comets kickers. Ryan Rominski taking over the kickoff duties. He's got a powerful leg, and he's just a heck of an athlete in general. And Jacob Hernandez, he's a soccer player. Last week, making his first start for the Comets at the kicker position. And as Lakota East is trotting onto the field, they're looking to change from what they did last drive.
We'll see if they come out with anything different. Raven is no longer in the backfield. Kenrick to the right. He's in motion, and a quick handoff to Eric Davis, and that's what he's going to try to do all game, is just power behind that center and the guards. He's able to pick up a couple.
Yeah, and that one a 5-yard gain, and that's all the Hawks are looking for. 5-yard gains down the middle, down Mason's throat. And if they're able to keep it up, they should have a successful night with their 3 powerful running backs, as you could say, in that triple option.
2nd and 6 coming up for the Comets. For the Thunderhawks, excuse me. And Cathman's just going to keep this one himself. He had the option, and he's going to pick up the first down with his legs. So we talked about how he can throw and he can run, showcasing the latter of those two there.
And Ben, as you pointed out earlier, Cathman, an early candidate for GMC Player of the Year and showing off that athleticism there, fakes the handoff, able to get past a few Comet defenders and ultimately taken down after a 6-yard gain to pick up the first down.
This Comet defense going to have to be able to stop both if they want a chance to win. That's Tabron Bonnie Powell in the motion. And a handoff to Davis once again. That center, Greg Roberson, he's just running off his back, quite literally. Just plowing him through, trying to get him some extra yardage. And it sets up about a 2nd and 6.
And coming into the game, we have number 2, Caleb Von Harser, the defensive back normally, standing at 6'1", the senior. And they're pushing him out at wide receiver on the left.
And there's going to be a timeout taken by Lakota East. They had some confusion in their formation.
Exactly, and that was one of the Comets' goals coming into this. Cause some confusion for the Lakota East defense, and they've been doing that a lot tonight. Led by the junior Aaron Spears, he's been getting in there every play and getting his hands on the Lakota running back's feet. Eric Davis a lot of the times, but TJ Cathman a few as well. And Spears, only a junior. Comets going to be glad to have him back next year.
Great showing from both teams, but especially the home team, Mason. We've seen that all year, not only in football, but a bunch of other sports too. We've seen some good showings in volleyball, some good showings in soccer, and I just think everyone's happy to be back in full go, going to these sporting events.
And exactly, we can see that from the Lakota East student section. I mean, they travel pretty well. Their student section, about half the size of Mason, but Mason's got the biggest one around, so that's still a compliment.
So 2nd and 5 coming out for Lakota East. In motion is Powell, and it's going to be a handoff to Davis once again. You know, it really feels like they're just going to try to use Davis to set up something on the outside or some of the passing game.
Yeah, but all they've done to start is just run Davis right down the middle. And Aaron Spears, he's been there every time, and then once he gets a hand on him, one of the 2 powerful linebackers, Jake Bates or Caden Evans, coming in to finish up the job. So we've got a 3rd and 5 from their own 42-yard line.
Last time Lakota East had a 3rd down was an interception from Simmons. Let's see what they do here. We got one receiver to both sides and a couple of wings to the left, and some confusion once again. Another timeout for Lakota East, so we're only in the first quarter, not even halfway, or about halfway through the first quarter, and Lakota East already burning 2 of their timeouts of the half.
And coming into this game, Ben, Lakota East, they were perceived as an early favorite, sitting at 3-1 on the year with a big win to Hamilton yesterday. But the Comets, although a little slow, shaky start, 2-2, they had a big win, 40-7 over Middletown last week, and that gave them a lot of confidence coming into this one and thinking they can beat anybody, and they're showing it tonight.
Yeah, this is a team that's just going to be better and better the more they play with each other. Got a lot of moving pieces. As for Lakota East, this is a team that's played with each other for a long time. That class with the star wide receiver Kyle Poppy, star quarterback TJ Kathman, star running back Charlie Kenrick, they've all got a lot of playing time since their sophomore year, so now it's their senior year. And they've got that chemistry, and they've built up relationships and know how to play with each other, and that's a big reason they're having such a successful start to the year. They're coming back out to the timeout, 3rd and 5. 2 receiver formation once again. Shotgun snap, a lot of time for Kathman. Dump off pass, he got all he needed. Kenrick able to pick up the first down for the Comets. Excuse me, the Thunderhawks. But there is a flag. So we're going to wait the call. And it is going to be an illegal face mask on Mason. So it'll give Lakota East some extra yardage. We're going to take a look at it again.
And as we can see, TJ Kathman throw it on the outside to Charlie Kenrick, excuse me, and they're going to get that one for J.C. Deaton. You can see on the outside, grabs his helmet a little bit.
Kenrick in motion, fake handoff, and right there is Will Ott, the defensive end, crashing in. He may have started from an inside position.
Yeah, Will Ott, somebody we thought we were going to be calling their name a little bit more coming into the season. And Ott's had playing time ever since his sophomore year, and you can just look at the tackle there as he is not thrown off by that fake handoff. Only 8 tackles coming into this game. He's going to tack on a 9th with that powerful play.
So 2nd and 14, Ott able to force a 2nd and long. Kathman breaking through a hole. He's got some room. And once again, picking up another first down with his legs. So he's had a few passes that haven't gone his way, but he's able to make up for it with some carries.
And as we can see in the replay here, Kathman showing off his athleticism, picking up the first down on the run. And other than that interception, he's had a pretty strong game. One of the only bright spots for East in this first quarter. So he moves it all the way up to the Comet 37-yard line. 4 minutes and 16 seconds remain.
Now Lakota East gaining some momentum and starting to play like their offense has all year. Mason's got to put the brakes on them. Little flip out to Kenrick, that was an option. Kenrick able to break a couple of tackles, that's what he does best. We're going to wait the call to see if he got a first down. I think they're going to say he's just short.
Yeah, and even though he can't pick up the first down there, showing off his raw power, trucks through 3 Comet defenders. It's going to take 2 to take him down.
That sets up a 2nd and 1 now for Lakota East. Now Lakota East is in a rare situation now. They don't kick a whole lot of field goals. They like to go for it on 4th down. Kathman back to pass and way over the head of the wide receiver Kyle Poppy. That's his first target of the year, the game. He's got 182 receiving yards on the year.
And we've already seen TJ Kathman throw 3 passes tonight, a little bit unusual considering the triple option offense that Lakota East and Kathman run. And only coming up successful on one of those. We saw the incompletion there and the interception earlier. So Lakota East, the 3rd and short.
Twins to the right of Kathman. He's taking a snap under center again. This will be the time to say that Eric Davis power through, and it looks like we're going to get it, and he will get the first down. Picks it up successfully.
And talking about Eric Davis, he's averaging 6.1 yards per carry on the season tonight. Aaron Spears and Jake Bates, Caden Evans have been holding them to about two or three, but that one able to push through for the East first down.
Yeah, I'd say 2 and 3 if that. I mean, he's had a few carries that went for negative yardage. But 3 minutes to go now left in this first quarter. Comets taking that 7-0 lead early. Lakota East threatening here. See a Twins formation again. I formation in the backfield. Under center, Kathman going off tackle. Going to pick up some decent yardage. Tackle finally made. Looks like by Weston Simmons.
And East draining some clock in this possession. Led by Kathman, as we said before. Showing off his athleticism. As he just takes that one and runs it on the outside, picking up 8 yards.
Second and 2 coming up for Lakota East. Last time they had a 2nd and short, they threw it. We'll see if they try it again. Twins to the right, no receivers to the left. This time it's just a handoff to Kenrick, who will pick the first down and a little more. Getting to about the 10-yard line.
And on the year, Kenrick averaging 7.2 yards per carry on the year. That time picking up 7. He's able to pick up the first down for the East Thunderhawks as they are sitting pretty at the 10-yard line.
I think they're content milking some clock. That's what they do. They score a lot, and they don't punt the ball a whole lot. It's because they are so effective and don't have a lot of 3 and outs, and are able to pick up 3 and 4 yards every single play. But Powell in motion. There was some movement early. Late flag comes in, most likely going to be a false start for Lakota East, and that's what it is. So a break for the Comets.
And a sloppy start for Lakota East. We've seen a few penalties already in this first quarter by the Thunderhawks. A few false starts and having to call 2 timeouts off of misformations. And you can see head coach of the Thunderhawks, Rick Haynes, not happy with his squad after that one, because that's going to set up the 1st and 15.
They've had to take a couple unnecessary timeouts, and they've had some miscues. There's another one again. It looks like Kathman realized there was a false start before the snap came and kind of let the snap fall. So another false start on Lakota East. Sets up a 1st and 20.
And here's where some of that home field advantage comes in play. The black hole making it loud and hard to hear the snap, as 2 straight false starts called on the Thunderhawks.
So clock ticking down under a minute. This time looks like they have a shotgun formation. Powell in motion. And there's going to be a false start again. So Lakota East, I don't know what's going on. But 3 straight false starts from the offensive line. And you can see Kathman telling his team, like, let's get it together. Haynes not happy about it.
As they're going to substitute multiple players out after those 3 straight false starts.
Ben Stowe coming into the game. He's one of their crucial tight ends. Starting tight end, but hasn't caught a pass yet this year. Powell in motion. And this one's fake handoff kept by Kathman. Brought to about the 20-yard line. And that will end the first quarter. Comets get off to an early 7-0 start. Lakota East, though, milking some clock with a nice drive. They're going to look to capitalize at the start of the second quarter. 7-0 at the end of 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC TV Sports. 3-pointer. Got it! In for the Comets score. Win! Comets win! Yeah!
Seven to nothing, Comets lead over the Thunderhawks. Week 5 high school football. Friday Night Lights. I'm Ben Haller alongside Adam Little, and it was a fun first quarter.
Yeah, fun first quarter and a sloppy first quarter by the Hawks. As you saw right before we went to the break, 3 straight false starts. 2 timeouts had to be called early on due to misformations from Lakota East. So Coach Hayes not happy about that, as they're going to get the ball at the 20-yard line. 2nd and goal.
Second and goal, and another flag, a false start on Lakota East. So they've had 4 penalties and only 1 snap the last about minute of play. So a second and goal from the 25-yard line.
And you can see Coach Hayes on the field there, standing at his own at the Comet 30-yard line, not happy about those calls.
Yeah, he looks a little not happy, but he does seem a little calm. I mean, most football coaches would be absolutely livid after seeing your team get 4 straight false starts. But he's got confidence in his team. Kathman dropping back, looking across the sideline for the receiver, Poppy. Nothing there, and third and goal at the 25. An unfortunate situation for a team like Lakota East that doesn't kick a whole lot of field goals.
Yeah, and they don't throw the ball very often. As we saw, TJ Kathman very gifted with his legs, but his arm not as great. We already saw 1 interception tonight, and we're probably going to be looking towards Kyle Poppy and maybe Ben Stowe, number 87, the tight end. So a very long 3rd and 25, 3rd and goal for the Hawks.
I think it's safe to assume we'd see a attempt through the air here. Under center, though, is Kathman, a 5-step drop back. He's got a lot of time. Comets fans want to hold. Finally finds Kenrick inside the 10. It takes a couple of Comets, Bates and Molnar, to bring him down at about the 5. So Thunderhawks making the best out of a crappy situation.
And we were just talking about how the Lakota East coach was nice and calm after this place, but head coach Brian Kastner not liking a no-hold call there. But if you're Lakota, you're happy with that. You picked up 20 yards. You're sitting at the 5-yard line, so you can ground and pound on this 4th down attempt. As we said before, they don't kick a lot of field goals, and they're bringing in the big boys for this one.
This is a crucial play, only the start of the 2nd quarter. But after Comets got up to an early 7-0 lead, Lakota East looking to respond. 4th and goal from the 5. Rolling out, and incomplete. Intended for Kenrick. How about Michael Molnar, the all-around star, breaking up that pass, showing why he can play anywhere. And the Comets get a huge turnover on downs.
Yeah, we can look at this replay here. Look at Michael Molnar as he sticks his left hand out and bats that one away. Let's go into a little more detail about Molnar. Molnar, we've seen him at quarterback this year. We've seen him at receiver this year. We've seen him at punter. How about in the first game drilling 2 60-plus yard punts, and we've seen him at safety this year. So he's doing everything for the Comets. Last week with Larson Brown, the main quarterback, out, he had 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 through the air. And so we see Larson Brown right now.
The trade-off, bad field position for Mason. Brown's just going to keep it himself, not known as a mobile quarterback, and he puts the ball on the ground. Recovered by Lakota East. There's a penalty flag. But if it holds, it's Lakota East inside the Mason 20.
And I don't think that's going to be a penalty flag. I think that's just going to be what they throw when the ball's released. But yeah, talk about that. Larson Brown coming after the concussion. Doesn't really lay into that hit. He kind of just absorbs it. That is not what you want if you're the Comet offense. We're going to take a look at that here.
As Brown just got, like you said, lit up. Maybe he looked a little scared going across the middle. And it's hard to blame him coming off a head injury like he had like he suffered in week 3 and was out for week 4 as well.
And Brown, he had a helmet mark on his neck after that hit, so yeah, very timid.
Kathman's going to roll out looking for any option. Finally taken down at the line of scrimmage. Caden Evans in there. As we're going to take a look at what gave Lakota East this drive. The hit coming in from Caleb Van Hooser. Someone expected to break out for the defense of Lakota East.
Yeah, and that was a clean hit too. Great job of keeping his head to the sky, not leading with his head, led with his shoulders as he punches that ball out. And there's going to be an injured Comet on the field. And it looks like from a distance that might be Aaron Spears.
It'll be a tough loss for the Comets. Spears on the year. Only a junior. Only a junior is having some sort of a breakout year. 16 tackles, a forced fumble, and a sack in the first 4 weeks of football. but he's able to get up and walk off on his own power. That's a good sign for the green.
Yeah, and it looks like he was probably just cramping up there. It's nice and hot out today, so maybe a little dehydrated, as we saw the great trainers stretching him out. As hopefully he'll be back soon for the Comets.
So Mason's defense having to carry a lot of weight after that turnover from Brown. 2nd and 10 now at the 13-yard line. Triple option formation. Kenrick in motion. Handoff to Davis up the middle. He'll get about 2 or 3.
Yeah, and Davis able to skirtle for about 3 yards there. You know, we don't see Aaron Spears on the field. He's been the main one stopping him in the backfield. So with the absence of Aaron Spears, the Thunderhawks hoping to tack on a few more yards every carry.
It brings up a 3rd and 7, and we just talked about this last drive. Another interesting position. If Mason's able to get a stop here on 4th down, we'd likely see him go for it. Kenrick will go in motion again. This time it is a flip to him on the outside. Powers through for about 3 or 4, but finally brought down from a couple in the Mason secondary.
And this is only going to be a 4th and 3 for the Thunderhawks, so most likely to see them go for this.
That's one of their strengths, is when they need 3 or 4 yards, I mean, they can get it almost every time. When you have as many power backs as they do, and as good of an offensive line as they do. You got 3 options in Rabin, Kenrick, and Davis, but Rabin hasn't seen a lot of snaps so far. It's been Benny Powell.
And don't forget about Kathman there too.
They're kicking a field goal. It's Trevor Hoffman back, his first field goal attempt of the season. And Lakota East takes their 3rd and final timeout of the first half. Maybe having second thoughts about this field goal.
Exactly, and you know, their kicker doesn't have a lot of experience on the year. No.
He's 21 for 24 from extra point attempts, and this is about that range. But because their offense is so good at scoring touchdowns and they're very efficient, he has not attempted a field goal yet this year.
Exactly, this just 5 yards off what an extra point would be. But when you're 4th and short, especially when you've got the bowling balls in the Lakota East backfield with Charlie Kenrick and TJ Kathman, Eric Davis, I would go for it.
We'll see if it pays off here. Both teams head back out onto the field. We're going to see if they stick with that field goal formation. And with that number 3, Trevor Hoffman there, looks like they will. It'll be a 23-yarder. The hold, good. And the field goal attempt, first one of the year from Hoffman's no good, wide right. So like you said, maybe they should have gone for it on 4th down. They only needed 3. And it's going to cost them. 7-0, still your score. Lakota East got it in the red zone the last 2 drives, but not able to capitalize on either. So a good start for Mason, very fortunate start for them.
Yeah, very strong start by their defense. And going back to that choice to kick the field goal, his first field goal attempt on the year. And not only that, but in a very hostile environment. We've got the Mason band right in front of him, making some noise, and we've got the black hole to his right. So that one goes wide right. Comet offense on the field.
Brown coming out immediately, handoff up the middle to Sailors. That's how they like to start a lot of their drives. He powers through for about 5.
Yeah, and Sailors more. All right, going on to East defense, we've got Nate Rosario and Jake Reisner on the outside linebacker spot. And going back, their secondary, Caleb Von Hauser, we saw that big stop earlier.
How about the 2-way players with Charlie Kenrick and Kyle Poppy? The leading rusher second leading rusher for Lakota East and the leading receiver for Lakota East. Both starting on defense. Brown will be under center once again. Sailors for a second time in a row. He's not going to pick up as much yardage as the first.
Yeah, and there's going to be an injured Comet on the field for the second time tonight.
This message is from Honor.
And we're going to go to a quick break here during this injury timeout. The Comets lead 7-0. Just under 8 minutes remain in the second quarter.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC TV.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Second half after an injured Comet. As Mason leads 7-0. The injured Comet's taken off the field. And we'll start here on a 3rd and 3. Handoff given to Sailors once again. He's not going to find a lot of room.
And coming into this game, we talked about the key player for the Comets, Kobe Lewis. We haven't seen any action from him tonight. Comets sticking to the ground game. It proved successful on the first drive with Nick Sailors and the 5-yard rushing touchdown, but unable to convert here as the punt unit's going to be out for the Comets. Michael Molnar, we talked about earlier in the first game against Gahanna-Lincoln, he had 2 punts over 60 yards. He doesn't get a lot of yards in the air, but how about he put some serious topspin on those balls?
Yeah, he's had 13 punt attempts on the year for a total of 502 yards. Average of 38.6 yards per punt, and his longest was 69 coming in that week 1 game against Gahanna-Lincoln. This one is a high punt, and it's going to get a nice bounce inside the 25. Will finally be touched at about the 21-yard line. So Michael Molnar, another stellar punt and a lucky bounce.
Yeah, and we're talking about Molnar. What an athlete. I mean, 3-sport athlete, receiver for the football team, played basketball last season, and a star outfielder for the Comets in baseball. So Molnar showing off his athleticism there with the boot.
We'll see what Lakota East can do with not as good playing or field position as they had in their last couple of drives. They were able to get both of those inside the red zone. Not able to capitalize. We've got a lot of time. 6:51 left in the quarter. Triple option formation. Kenrick in motion. And it's going to be Davis finally breaking through for his longest carry of the game. Going to bring up about a 2nd and 2.
And you know, it's the absence of Aaron Spears starting to take effect. He was really the only Comet able to stop Eric Davis in the first quarter. But that time able to pick up 8 yards, his longest carry of the night, just over a season average of 6.1.
We'll see if they try to feed him again. You know, it seems like when they go to him, it's been working more and more every time. And they will, and pick up a first down and a little more. Getting to about the 34-yard line.
The Lakota East student section happy about that one as they pick up a first down all the way to their own 34-yard line. In Jersey night for the Thunderhawks. Mason 70s and hippie night. So
a new theme, and a lot of students were excited about it.
Exactly, so not only a battle on the field, but a battle between the student sections.
A lot of Mason students showing off their tie-dye, some Pink Floyd shirts out there. As Davis gets his 3rd handoff in a row. And he's finally found his groove, ripping through some defenders. Bringing up a 2nd and 3, carry of about 7.
And something that you're really glad to see if you're a Comet fan, Aaron Spears back in the game after he had those cramps in his right leg. Back on the field. He was the only one to stop Davis in the first quarter. He's starting to heat up with 2 8-yard carries in a row.
So now a power formation, all 3 backs in the backfield. maybe try to fake out the Comets. Davis breaking through some more tackles and gets 5 or 6 after the first down. Getting to the 50-yard line. And every single play so far this drive has gone to Eric Davis, and his shortest gain is about 3 or 4.
And we can give a lot of credit to Davis there, but how about the block by the right guard, Cam Haberth there? He absolutely pancakes one of the Comet defensive linemen, putting him on the ground, setting up a gaping hole for Davis to run through.
So another 1st and 10 for Lakota East. Playing for midfield now. Powell in motion. And Mason finally catching on to the trend. They're going to stuff Davis in the backfield. Jake Bates, Weston Simmons, Kyle Elko in on that one.
And Jake Bates coming into this game, 30 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1.5 sacks. Currently sitting at 4th in the GMC in tackles. And most of those have been solo tackles. So very impressive feat by the junior. Standing only at 5'7", he brings a lot of force to this Comet defense, and he's one of the ringleaders.
2nd and 10. Davis went nowhere. This time it's a flip to Benny Powell, and he's got some room. Finally taken down to 39. That'll be a 1st down, so the first play of the drive that hasn't gone to Davis works pretty well.
And on this replay, look at number 75 with the block on the right, bottom right corner of your screen. Cam Haberth there, 2 blocks in a row that set up long runs for the Thunderhawks.
That's textbook offense and play calling. You know, they kept going with what's working until the one time it didn't work, they went something else and were able to pick up the 1st down. Keeping Mason on their toes. 3:25 to go. Hand off to Davis again. They're going back to it. And it seems like it's the same result in this drive when Davis gets it. 6, 7, 8 yards.
And a bit of a shocker to see after how well they were containing Davis in the 1st quarter. But it's almost like Lakota East has flipped a switch in this 2nd corner, led by Cam Haberth there. And they're just sending Eric Davis on the right side, right behind him.
So a 2nd and 3. And Mason's going to call a timeout. Talk things over. See if they're going to have an answer for Davis.
And that's exactly what D-line coach Brandon said he's talking about right now. He's talking to Aaron Spears. He's talking to Caden Davis. Hoping to contain the powerful Eric Davis. And we already are down to 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in the half, as they are milking a lot of clock.
The fans don't go anywhere at halftime. We got some former Comets to recognize. Hall of Fame introduction here at Dwire Field, and we're going to cover it on ICRC. So don't go anywhere after the break, or during the break, excuse me. We're going to get that started right away when the buzzer hits. It's just a clip of what had already happened. The ceremony didn't happen here, but we're recognizing them on the broadcast. Kathman back out, giving it to Davis once again. Davis having no trouble picking up the 1st down.
That time the sophomore Mikey Jones able to come from the free safety spot. And able to contain Davis for 4 or 5 yards, but that's going to be enough for an East 1st down. We were talking a little bit more about those 2 Comet safeties, Weston Simmons, the junior, and Mikey Jones, the sophomore. We've got some youth back there.
Yeah, sophomore and a junior, and this time it's a flip to the senior for Lakota East. Kenrick breaking a couple tackles, and now you can start to see the energy kind of building off of all these Lakota East running backs. As Mason's tackling is slowly been less and less effective.
Exactly, and something we don't see very often. We've got Mason's center, Skylar Horn, lined up at defensive tackle as they're hoping to add some size as they're trying to stop Eric Davis the fullback.
Kenrick going in motion again. It's Davis. And the Comets, once again, were there, but just not able to bring him down. So another first down picked up from Eric Davis. Not to be confused with 1990s wire-to-wire star Eric Davis for the Reds, but the Thunderhawks, Eric Davis, have an effective game today as well. One receiver to the right, that's Poppy. He's going to roll out in motion and brought down by Will Ott again. So about 50% of the time the Kathman's been dropped back to pass. Will Ott's been in his face and bringing him down.
Exactly, and as we see in the replay here, Will Ott coming off the left side, and him and Jake Bates combined for the sack. Will Ott, a little bit of a slow start to the season, but heating up in this one.
Under a minute to play here. Lakota East might have to hurry. Good field position. Kathman finds a receiver, Kenrick, breaking a couple tackles. Not able to get that first down. And he's given some words to Guido Jackson. As Lakota East tries to hurry up, some stoppage of play. And it's an injured Comet. I believe it's going to be J.C. Deaton, the junior, down on the play.
Yeah, J.C. Deaton, the junior cornerback. Got two of those, Zach Rogers, J.C. Deaton, and Guido Jackson headlining the top three corners for the Comets. Jim Frimpong, the senior. We see him with a little bit of playing time as well back there. And we talked about that earlier before the game started. The Comet secondary, second in the GMC in passing yards per game, 91, and only allowed 2 touchdowns on the year through the air.
And Deaton's able to walk off the field on his own power. Good sign for Mason. 3rd and 1 coming up. 44 seconds to play. Kathman instructing his offensive line. Powell's in motion, a handoff to Davis once again. It's worked all drive. Some extra push from the offensive line of Lakota East gets him in the end zone. 7-6. Lakota East an extra point away from tying this game right before halftime.
Yeah, and not only did Lakota East just tie the game pending the extra point, but very smart awareness by the coaching staff, only allowing Mason with 30 seconds on the clock heading in to the buzzer. And we saw the missed field goal earlier today. Is there going to be a fake?
Roll to the outside at the end zone. No good. Some trickery from Lakota East. They tried to pull it out before halftime, and Mason's special teams defensive unit was ready. That's a huge play.
Exactly, and if you're the Comet special teams unit, you're thinking, hey, there was the missed field goal last play, or last drive, excuse me, in the extra point range, so coach has lost a little bit of confidence.
I'm not gonna lie, I was looking down at my notes. I wasn't ready for that. But Mason defense was, and that's all that matters, to hold a 7-6 lead. We're 29 seconds away from halftime. Like we said, don't go anywhere at halftime. We're going to take a look at Eric Davis's run up the middle. He really broke out this drive. And how about the extra push from the offensive linemen? And Cam Harbathier and Austin Searveld. Greg Roberson getting in there as well.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. Without that last second push, that would have been stopped at the 1-yard line. But a great effort by the Thunderhawk offensive line. A risky call by Coach Rick Haynes to go for it. And that could come up critical here, as we've got a very close game.
Fooled everyone on that play except for Mason's defense. And like we said, that's all that matters. We got under 30 seconds. We'll see if Mason can conjure something up. Might see a squib kick coming here from Trevor Hoffman.
And we've got Kobe Lewis and Michael Molnar back to receive for the Comets. Haven't seen a lot of Kobe Lewis tonight, so that could potentially change with 30 seconds left in the half.
And they are just going to kick it away regularly. And as you talked about, Lewis is going to take it all the way to about the 28-yard line. And how's that for some momentum? Mason had a lot of it early on. Lakota East slowly draining that energy, draining the momentum as their drive went on. And it looked like they were going to tie the game. But then the two-point conversion, no good. Kind of giving some hope and momentum back to Mason as they hold the lead. 23 seconds to go here. Looks like they might take some shots downfield with Brown and shotgun. He's going to look to the outside down the sideline. And he overthrew Lewis. That's his first target of the game for Kobe Lewis, the senior.
And that's a great play call there. Heave it downfield, try to get something going with 18 seconds left. And now this is maybe a time where it'll be a little more conservative, run the clock out. But Larson Brown, as Ben mentioned, overthrows Kobe Lewis a little bit. And Kobe having to play a little bit of defensive back there. He's trying to not allow that pass to be intercepted.
18 seconds to go on a 2nd and 10 from their own 29. Brown and shotgun again. This time it's just a handoff to Sailors. And it looks like Mason might play conservatively.
And we'll see if head coach Brian Castor wants a timeout.
They're not going to take a timeout, but they are going to try to rush and get one more play off. Brown looking downfield. It's just going to be a quick pass out to Lewis. Down the sideline might be their only hope, but a nice play made on the outside from Lakota East, Justin Green, to end the half. 7-6 is your halftime score between the 3-1 Lakota East Thunderhawks and the 2-2 Mason Comets. But folks, don't go anywhere just yet. We want to extend a shout out and congratulations to a special group of Mason athletes that were recently inducted to the Mason Hall of Fame. We're going to give a special shout out to them. Marty Gentry from the class of 1989, Mitch Pence from the class of 1995, Jeff Staniford, class of 1997. How about Todd Hofford of class of 2000, Stacy Chu, class of 2005. Melissa King Weimer, class of 2005. And Angela Bazzari Bluegrath, class of 2006. Once again, just a big congratulations to all these special Mason athletes. The entire induction ceremony is available for streaming on ICRCTV.com. Here's a sneak peek of the program now. We'll see you on the other side for the second half. Mason 7, Lakota East 6.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to ICRC TV Sports. Three-pointer. Got it! In for the Comets score. Win! The Comets win! Yeah!
Mr. Grice, 38 years of teaching at Mason High School, coached football for 38 years. According to him, he won more games than he lost, so he says. Has helped host many of our football playoff games. He's just been a tireless worker for us. He's run the clock for us. He's just done a lot of great things in all of our sporting events. Boys basketball scorebook for 37 years. Girls basketball scorebook for 6 years. He's helped run sectional and district basketball games that Mason has hosted. He's coached a junior high boys track and field for 5 years. Track and cross-country official for 35 years. Officiated numerous cross-country and track invitations at Mason as well as many state championship events. Assistant meet manager for the district track at Mason that we host. And he's also a member of the OHSAA Track Officials Hall of Fame. He was also recognized by the Southwest District back in 2014 as a friend of the athletics, which is a friend of the Mason Athletics. He received an award that he was presented to him at UD Arena back in 2014. So a lot of accomplishments for Mr. Grice. he's been a great supporter and a great part of our family, and well-deserved in this award. So, Harold?
You know, when I first came to Mason, well, I was a graduate of Vandalia Butler High School, which Scott doesn't like, but school colors purple and gold. Our arch rivals' colors were green, and I thought they were the most god-awful looking colors ever. And I thought, no way would I ever wear green. I'll come to Mason, I stay here for 40 years, and most of my wardrobe is green. And I love green now. And so as a matter of fact, I think I only have one purple thing. But I want to thank the selection committee, Scott, Kathy, Dylan, but Jack, for the example that you set. I'm just honored and humbled to receive this award. The girls asked, I have 3 daughters, as you can tell. We chose that picture because I have a little bit of hair in that picture. So we chose that one. But the girls said, are you going to tell a story or two? And I said, yeah, I'm going to tell a couple quick stories. So my football story is this. I coached for a long time, coached with some great, great individuals. One of them was George Highfield. You all know George, I think. Well, at the end of football season, George and I coached together for about 10 to 12 years. At the end of football season, Louis always told George, it takes me about 3 weeks to reprogram Harold's language so it's not George Highfield language anymore. And if you know George, you know what I'm talking about. But I never knew if I was a good coach or anything like that. We were going to play a team called Turpin, and they ran the option. And so we told our kids, you got to hit the quarterback every time, make him pitch the ball as soon as possible. And so in practice, one of our players, Joey, kept hitting our quarterback. And we said, Joey, George got to him first and used some colorful language, but he said, Joey, quit hitting our quarterback. Okay, so we go down to Turpin. Second play of the game. Quarterback runs the option, comes right at Joey. Joey pulls up, doesn't hit him. Quarterback turns up the field and runs for a touchdown. He comes off the field, and I'm going, Joey, why didn't you hit the quarterback? Coaches, you told me not to hit the quarterback. I'm like, well, at least he listened. And so in basketball, I was fortunate enough, Gary Popwell allowed me to keep the book, and then Greg Richards allowed me to continue keeping the book, and I love doing that every ball game, and just fantastic. But one year, Andy Plum, who I think is a member of this group, we were playing up at Wilmington. It's late in the ball game, or it's late in the third quarter, and Andy picks up his 4th foul. And so I yelled down to Gary, Andy's got 4 fouls. And Gary looks at me, where's Gary at? And Gary goes, what the do you want me to do about it? I went, okay. Well, my girls were little, and one of them tapped me on the shoulder and said, Mr. Popwell just yelled at you. I said, I know. So after the game, we're going out to the car and everything like that, and Gary comes running up, and I know Teresa got hold of him, and he goes, I'm sorry I yelled at you like that, but what did you want me to do? I said, Gary, that's not my job. I just wanted you to tell you, because I know if somebody would have picked up their 5th like Andy, I was going to be in trouble. And then my short track story is I coached here for 5 years, junior high, thanks to Rod Russell. And the track's not the way it is now. It was a 7-lane cinder track. Well, I didn't realize that signing up for that, you also got to take the cinders that they delivered every year, and you got to roll the track, pick up all the rocks, scratch the track with the lines, and then line the track. Rod and Gary would never let me line because they said I never walked in a straight enough line. But then the first rain would come, and am I not correct, it would wash out all the lines. And so, but I do want to thank you guys. I also want to make sure I thank my wife Lou and the girls, because without them I'd have never been allowed to do all this stuff that I so enjoy and love doing. So thank you very much.
Angela Bazari Flugrath. Angela Bazzari Pflugrath was a member of the 2006 graduating class. Angela Pflugrath left her mark on Mason as the most decorated athlete in the school's history. She earned 8 varsity letters between cross country and track, helping Mason to its first ever team state title in girls track and field in 2004. Angela was 11-time FAVC champion, a 13-time district champion, 12-time regional champion, and an 8-time state champion. I'll say it again, 8-time state champion. That's pretty good. She earned 7 of her 8 state titles in individual running events, with 2 coming from cross country. She was named FAVC Runner of the Year 5 times, Southwest Ohio Runner of the Year 4 times, and First Time All-Ohio 7 times. She held 7 Mason High School records and 3 Greater Cincinnati records upon graduation. Today, the best runners in the state of Ohio come to Mason Invite to participate in the Bazzari Mile, an annual running event held in her honor. After high school, Angela went on to the University of Illinois, where she became a 3-time NCAA Division I champion and 9-time All-American. She held 7 records for the Illini and was inducted into the Illinois Hall of Fame in 2019. Today, Angela lives out west in Fresno, California, with her husband, Carl. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bazzari, are here tonight. Angela could not be with us tonight, but we have her on video. Here's Angela.
I want to start off by taking the time to say how honored I feel to be inducted into the Mason High School Athletic Hall of Fame. I am particularly honored to be inducted with such an amazing group of people and athletes, one of whom was my teammate. This award has me reflecting on my time as an athlete, specifically at Mason. I played sports for a long time. I played in high school, collegiately, and professionally, and some of my best memories are from my time at Mason High School. I don't always remember specifically my times at Mason or the specific races. It really went by so fast. But what I do remember are the fun times with amazing people. I remember summer long runs with friends, afterward having bagels and chatting. I remember the long bus rides after successful meet, full of laughter. I remember the 4x800 winning as a team. I think sport was really helpful for me to gain confidence in myself. I was shy as a high schooler and still particularly kind of quiet. And sports taught me that I can set a big goal and take small daily steps to get there. I really fell in love with sports at Mason High School, and confidence in myself grew. And I will forever be proud to be a Mason High School graduate and a Comet. I wanted to take a second to thank some of those people who made my time at Mason such a positive experience, some of whom are here today. They include both Kelly and Tony Affatato for their continual support and enthusiasm. They really helped make track and field such a positive experience for me. All the fun I had with my teammates, it couldn't be done without them. And then finally, I want to spend the time thanking my parents for being supportive in both athletics and life. Again, I just wanted to say thank you so much for inducting me into the Hall of Fame with such an amazing group of people. Go Comets!
Let's take a time out to talk about educational athletics. That means the school sports are an extension of the classroom. Student athletes earn the privilege of participation in sports by succeeding during the school day first, before they put on the team uniform after. Student athletes prove that with better attendance records, higher GPAs, and fewer discipline issues than non-student athletes. That's what it means to be a part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to icrctv.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
If I play sports for my school, I will have more confidence. I will get better grades.
I will learn how to show good sportsmanship.
I will be more physically fit. I will learn how to handle wins and losses in sports and in life. I will have more school spirit.
I'll learn how to work together. I will learn to set goals and work to reach them.
I'll make good decisions off the field.
If I play sports for my school,
If I play sports for my school,
if I play sports for my school,
I will learn how to be a leader.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Both teams have taken the field. We're just about ready to get the season underway.
ICRC Friday Night Football. We are back here.
Breaks a tackle at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings.
Side, he's looking for Hughes.
He's got
has
him.
the separation.
Touchdown!
Touchdown, Blue Devils.
Stop.
And it's going to be a big 6 for the Aviators. Touchdown!
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Holy cow.
Three, 2, 1.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
we discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come
Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
I just wanted to play.
I just want to play. I just want to play. I just want to play.
Play.
Play. Along the way, I'm learning
Sportsmanship.
sportsmanship, teamwork,
Teamwork.
how to work hard,
How to work hard. Discipline.
hustle,
Sacrifice.
how to be a leader.
Dedication.
I just want to play.
And along the way, I'm learning to put the team before myself.
To put the team before myself.
How to be a student.
How to be a student.
I'm learning to set a good example,
How to work hard.
to accept responsibility,
That I represent my community.
that I represent my community.
I just wanted to play, and look where it took me.
She's done it! Tiana Bartoletta has done it! From Elyria, Ohio, now an Olympic gold medalist.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger, the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Both teams have taken the field. We're just about ready to get the season underway.
ICRC Friday Night Football. We are back here.
Breaks a tackle at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings.
Side, he's looking for Hughes.
He's got
Hughes
him.
has the separation.
Touchdown!
Touchdown, Blue Devils.
Auto sequence start.
Touchdown! Wow.
Unbelievable.
Holy cow.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC TV.
Dwire Field, Atrium Stadium, great showing from the fans and a great showing from the football team in the first half. The home team, Mason Comets, held a 7-6 lead over the Lakota East Thunderhawks. Week 5 of Friday Night Lights. I'm Ben Haller alongside Adam Little. Adam, why don't you tell us about this game, some stories?
Yeah, well, first off, the big picture here, Mason has only had the ball for 3 minutes and 14 seconds over a span of 2 possessions. Well, I guess you'd count a little bit of the third, but that was only one play going into the half. But 2 possessions, 3 minutes and 14-second possession time. Lakota East, on the other hand, 20 minutes and 44 seconds of possession time. They've just been milking the clock, running it down the middle with their fullback, Eric Miller, I believe.
Eric Davis.
Eric Davis, yes. And as we can see, the Comets trotting onto the field. They're going to be receiving the kickoff after they deferred to the second half.
And there's a lot of different things you can interpret from that stat. Lakota East, they're doing a good job of milking some clock and running the ball 3 or 4 yards every single play. But on the flip side, Mason's defense is doing a very good job of holding up when it matters. And when Lakota East gets into that red zone, they've had a couple of red zone stops, one of them being a turnover on downs, the other a missed field goal. And the one touchdown Lakota East was able to score, they went for it. They went for 2 and came up just short. Mason's defensive special teams unit was right there, and they were ready. Let's see if Mason can flip that tide and get more time of possession in the second half. They will receive the opening kickoff, so that'll help a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Hoping to get something started with Larson Brown, Kobe Lewis, and Nick Sailors, who we saw at the 5-yard rushing touchdown in the first quarter.
So the kick from Trevor Hoffman going to be taken by Kobe Lewis inside the 5. Able to bring it out to about the 20. He makes it out inside the 30-yard line. There's a flag on the play. It's going to be some sort of illegal blocking, whether that's a block in the back or a hold on Mason.
You saw Kobe Lewis with a nice little juke move, but that one going back. Block in the back called on Mason. Moving them all the way back to their own 8-yard lines.
We'll see if Mason's offense can stay fresh. They didn't get a lot of time of possession like you mentioned, and then they had to sit at halftime for a while, but they're back out inside the 10. Larson Brown, shotgun formation, immediately looking to his right, finding a diving Molnar. Passes a little wide right. Caught for a gain of 4.
Yeah, and that's the first time we've seen Molnar on offense tonight, the 4-yard catch. Last week against Middletown, the big 40-7 victory. Larson Brown out with the concussion, and Molnar stepped in at quarterback. He was the starting quarterback last season. 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. Lit it up at the Middies' home turf, and looking to replicate that performance tonight.
2nd down and 7 from the 13.
2nd and 7 coming up here. Brown will be in shotgun again. Twins to the tight side. It'll be a handoff to Sailors, who powers through for a first down. How about Nick Sailors?
Exactly, and we touched on the junior earlier on the broadcast. Coming into the year, we weren't sure who the starting Mason running back was going to be. We had the senior Brian Egbert. We got junior Nick Sailors, ended up getting the start. Sophomore Mikey Jones, who's playing safety. But ultimately, Nick Sailors coming on top, and as we saw there, it's just his raw power and grittiness. And that's the reason why the coaching staff selected him as the starter, and that's proved to be a successful decision as he holds the Comets' lone touchdown tonight.
They're at their own 20 with a 1st and 10. This time the Twins are to the left. Brown looking right. Tries to find a receiver down the sideline. He overthrows Molnar.
Yeah, and Michael Molnar looks like he had the defensive back beat, but that ball just barely overthrown by Larson Brown. That was one heck of a throw downfield, sitting all the way at his own 20-yard line, standing more at the 15. Keeps it all the way down to the 35-yard line. That junior's got a cannon, Ben.
It's a good sign, and we talk about how his strength is definitely throwing, and he needs to work on his rush game a little bit. But he's shown some potential there. He's just going to give it to Sailors here. He's going to get stopped about 1 yard after the line of scrimmage. For a 3rd and 9. We'll see what the Comets can conjure up here.
We haven't seen a lot of passing tonight from the Comets. We You saw on the first play of the drive, the 4-yard pass to Molnar. Hoping to get something started. Larson Brown under center.
Talk about Mason's offense not having a lot of time. But Lakota East defense, they got to stay fresh too. Brown rollout, getting hit immediately, but he finds a receiver. The tight end, Ben Fosnot, across the middle for a first down. Fosnot's down, and Brown took a hit.
Yeah, and Brown's walking it off. Well, he took a shot there. You can see him grabbing his right chest, but Ben Fosnot, number 87, standing at a whopping 6'7". He's going to be the injured Comet on the field.
We're going to take a look at each of these Comets first. Larson Brown, after he gets the pass out.
And that
hit coming from Nate Rosario.
And you can see, although it wasn't head or neck contact to Brown, he did lead with his helmet into the stomach.
And then for Fosnot, it was just an awkward play. A good look at him. He was down a little longer than Brown was, but he's able to walk off the field now, so.
And we've seen Larson Brown take 2 big hits tonight already. One, the fumble at their own 20-yard line. And coming off the concussion last week, Brown looking a little more cautious after taking 2 big hits. But we've got the 1st and 10 for the Comets at the 25, excuse me.
Brown will just hand it off again. Nick Sailors this time bouncing it out to the outside. And the ball's on the ground. Picked up by Van Hooser. And he's got a clear path to the end zone. So just like that, the second turnover of the game for the Comets results in a Thunderhawk lead. What a change of events.
And it almost looked like Nick Sailors had the separation on the right side. But the Thunderhawks came in and swooped on the left side, knocking that ball out. And Caleb Van Hooser able to pick it up and show off his speed, returning it for a Hawk touchdown.
Yeah, initially there were a few different Thunderhawks on that play, eventually knocked out by someone from behind. We'll try to take a look at it from behind. Looks like coming in and punching that out might have been Benny Powell. And then Syed Garnett tried to catch him, but wasn't there in time. Van Hooser brings it in for 6 for Lakota East.
And you can see Lakota East going for 2, trying to get a 7-point lead after the missed attempt last time.
Rolling out is Catherine. He's got some pressure. Trying to find Stowe in the back of the end zone's incomplete. So twice now the Thunderhawks have gone for it. They've come up successful neither times.
And both of these 2-point conversions, we saw the fake handoff on the left side. And then TJ Kathman rolling out on the play action to his right. We can see on the replay here, the play action to the right, looking to hit the big tight end, Ben Stowe, but unable to convert as he overthrows him. Almost looked like the exact same play from the last 2-point conversion.
So Lakota East is getting a lot of momentum and a lot of energy here. A lot of that, the source being the student section of Lakota East on Jersey night.
And so right after the turnover, the Comets are going to be getting the ball back. Again, Kobe Lewis back to return.
Ben Manker and Braden Greer in the front line of that special teams unit, pictured below.
Yeah, 2 sophomore receivers. We saw Braden Greer got a lot of playing time last week in the big win over Middletown, and they started to give some of those young guys, the young JV guys, a little bit more experience.
Kobe Lewis trotting his way backwards, trying to give Mason some momentum. He's only had 1 target so far this game. He's the leading receiver for Mason. Kicks away from Hoffman. And it's a short one. Lewis is going to let it bounce. have a problem with it. And Lewis, maybe not remembering the rules, thinking this is a punt. Kickoff, it's fair game. And the ball goes to Lakota East. So maybe a little bit of a miscue from Lewis. And Lakota East given the ball once again inside the red zone. That's the third time this game they've been given that. Lewis thinking this is a punt, thinking, okay, I'm just going to stay away and let Lakota East down it. But kickoffs are fair game, unlike punts. And that is a costly mental mistake from Lewis, and Kastner is not happy.
Yeah, Coach Kastner, one of those fiery coaches we talked about earlier. Coach Hayes of the Lakota East, calm after all those false starts, but Coach Kastner, more of a fiery mentality.
Hand off to Davis on the first play of the drive, and looks like he's going to find the end zone. There's a flag on the play. I believe it's going to be on the offense. It will be a hold. Fortunate there for Mason.
We're going to take a quick look at the replay there. It looks like they're going to call it on number 77 on the Lakota East front. So a minor step back after Eric Davis was looking to punch in his second touchdown of the game. That's going to send him all the way back to the Comet 18-yard line.
So it'll be a 1st and goal now from the 16, handoff, faked, taking my Catherine, big hit there from Guido Jackson.
And Guido Jackson, we talked about earlier, the sophomore corner for the Comets. He brings a lot of energy and pep to the defense. And you can see the big hit combined with Weston Simmons and Jackson there. So big gain for the Hawks, taking it all the way up to the Comet 9-yard line, 2nd and goal.
Second and goal coming from their own 8. Triple option formation. No tight ends, but 2 receivers. Under center, it'll give it to Davis, same play as the touchdown. And this time, there's no flags on the play. Well, there is. One came out late. A lot of confusion. That flag kind of came out after the play.
And it looked like one of the Lakota East linemen was blocking just a little too long on the Comet defender and puts him down in the end zone.
They call a touchdown, but I believe it's going to be unnecessary roughness after the play on the offense. I'm not quite sure exactly the rule, if that's takes back on after the extra point or the kickoff. But the officials making sure they signal it is a touchdown. And the change of momentum, the costly mistakes, mental mistakes from Mason. Eric Davis scores a touchdown. And that's Austin Searveld just going a little too hard after the whistle.
And you know, not only after the whistle was he going a little too hard, it looked like he was blocking Caden Davis from the shoulder pad up high. Normally we're going to see those called as a hold, but they're going to give the touchdown to the Hawks as they're going for 2 again as they hold the 18-7 lead.
Sticking with that triple option formation. Both times they've tried to pass the ball in their conversions. This time they run it. Kathman trying to find the goal line, and he does. 20-7 now lead for the Thunderhawks. And after things were looking good for the Comets, coming out of halftime, they had a 7-6 lead. Mason's offense just not able to stay out on the field.
Yeah, talk about momentum shifting. Comets had a slow start on their first drive. Ultimately, it's going to come to a conclusion with the Nick Sailors fumble. And then Lakota East able to convert after that one. And when they kick off, Kobe Lewis, thinking it's a punt, lets the ball go, and that ball is going to be recovered by the Thunderhawks, and that, as we saw, eventually led to the touchdown run by Eric Davis, and the 2-point conversion by TJ Kathman.
You can see the frustration from Coach Kastner pacing back and forth. A team that was that comes into this game 2-2, playing a very good Lakota East. Lakota East is number 4 in the Harbin rankings currently. And you come out and have as good of a first half as they had and totally just waste that all away in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half.
Exactly. You know, it's been turnovers tonight. We saw earlier, Larson Brown with the fumble. He took a big shot when he held the read option. And then Nick Sailors with the fumble, and Kobe Lewis with the miscommunication on special teams. All three of those ultimately leading to Lakota East touchdowns, and that's why they hold the 20-7 lead. And we're gonna see Kobe Lewis back there again. Maybe thought would have been a little different after the play he just had, and they're gonna squib it. Michael Molnar is gonna take that one.
Molnar's to the 25. He's trying to get to midfield, and he's got into Lakota East territory. So Michael Molnar, who does it all, that's what he's known for, with a return inside the 40 in Thunderhawk territory.
And that one, Kobe Lewis doesn't take after he made the mistake, and look at the cut by Molnar. Off the great blocking on special teams, Caden Evans.
And we've talked about this a few times on our broadcasts. A lot of teams kind of go to their second stringers, guys they want to get experience and more playing time for special teams. Mason doesn't do that. At all times, they like to put their 11 best players on the field. That's what they do for special teams, and it pays off like it did there with great block from Caden Evans and the return from Molnar. We'll see if they can capitalize offensively. Molnar and shotgun. Brown, handoff to Sailors. Oh, he's stuffed at the line.
Sailors, his last attempt to fumble, and unable to do much more this time as he's going to be stopped at the line. 2nd and 10 at the East 44-yard line.
So 2nd and same distance to go. At about the 45-yard line. Twins to the left of Brown. Fumbled the snap a little bit. Finally got it out to an open receiver for the first down. That's Michael Molnar. Good connection from Brown to Molnar. Keeps the chains moving. Mason hasn't got a whole lot of first downs. A lot of that because they didn't have the time of possession they wanted in the first half.
Yeah, take a look at that shot that Larson Brown takes just after he throws the ball. And to be able to take that shot and the accurate throw to Michael Molnar shows the skills and athleticism that Larson Brown holds, especially coming off that concussion from 2 weeks ago.
For the 32-yard line, 1st and 10. Same formation. Brown, 3-step drop back, looking for a shot downfield. There's a flag. Saeed Garnett was in the end zone, and some contact made by Benny Powell, taking Garnett down. To a good job by Saeed Garnett to draw the pass interference, and a good throw from Brown to make sure that flag is called.
Exactly, and that throw just a bit underthrown, and that's going to force all 3 of the Lakota East cornerbacks just to fall into Saeed Garnett. As we're looking at the replay here, Garnett unable to get his hands up as he's just tackled.
Benny Powell thought that pass was going to go a little further.
And that's going to be huge for the Comets.
15-yarder puts them inside the red zone at the 17 for the 1st and 10. They're trying to go hurry up offense. Hand off to Sailors. Hasn't worked too well recently, but they finally get it for 8 yards.
Yeah, and that's what they expect out of Nick Sailors, the powerful junior running back. Able to pick up 7 yards there. Bringing them.
Paul Moore-Lett, finally the one who brought Sailors down.
Some great blocking by Dominic Bomarito as Sailors goes right off his block.
Brown's handoff to Sailors on the outside, trying to find the end zone, just a little short, but it's inside the 5 at about the 2. So 2 straight carries from Sailors, gotten good yardage.
And the Comets now at the East 2-yard line. If I'm the Mason coaching staff here, we're talking about the big game that Michael Molnar had, rushing last week's 3 touchdowns. I'm almost putting Molnar out of Wildcat, Sailors to his left, confusing the Lakota East defense a little bit, and potentially having Michael Molnar run in for the second Mason touchdown of the game.
So they're going under center. It'll be Brown. There's a flag on the play. Looks like it might be a false start for Mason.
But it's going to be quite the opposite, as they're going to call a neutral zone infraction from Lakota East, as that's going to move the Comets 1 yard closer.
So now from the 1 yard line, under 6 minutes to play, over halfway through the 3rd quarter. This 3rd quarter has been dominated by Lakota East on both sides of the ball. Mason trying to change that with a touchdown here. Brown under center, power formation, given to Sailors, powers through, gets the ball over the pylon, touchdown Comets. Nick Sailors, 3 straight rushes to respond after Molnar with a great return to put him in good field position. Comets able to stop the bleeding and gain some momentum.
And as we see here, the second rushing touchdown from Nick Sailors tonight. That one a 1-yarder, as he just shows his power and also some physique. Coming off that fumble, able to recover mentally and inch the Comets.
So the extra point, Hernandez again, bad snap. Hernandez, who doesn't have a whole lot of football experience, didn't know what to do with it. It's finally taken by Zach Rogers, the holder. So after Lakota East, 2 of their touchdowns end in a missed 2-point conversion, this is a big miscue. Another one for the Comets. Keeps the score at 20-13, and Kastner's just beside himself.
And you know, Ben, he's beside himself for good reasons. We talked about in the first half, a lot of, more specifically the first quarter, a lot of sloppy play from the Thunderhawks. They had 3 straight false start penalties from their own 10-yard line. That pushed them all the way back to their 25.
And as you see Kastner telling Hernandez here, it's only his 2nd football game of his life. What to do with that? What to do with that? Kastner giving him a fist bump, understanding.
Yeah, and for those, you just want to fall on top of it, especially now that they've cut it to a 7-point game, close game. Fall on top of it, cut your losses, and hope your defense can stop the Lakota East Thunderhawks short. So 5 minutes and 32 seconds remain. We talked about the first half dominated in possession time by Lakota East. The Comets only had 3 minutes and 14 seconds. The Comets holding most of this half.
Ryan Rominski, the lefty, sets a kick for Mason. It's a high kick. It'll be taken inside the 10. Brought out by Van Hosser. And it'll be stopped just short of the 30. Good job from Mason's special team unit once again.
And marching onto the field for Lakota East is going to be their star quarterback, TJ Kathman, we talked about earlier. One of the leading candidates for GMC Player of the Year so far. He's got 45 attempts, 328 yards rushing, and 3 touchdowns. They run that triple option. They're going to run it a lot with their quarterback. And how about this percentage from throwing? 21 for 28, 3/4 of his passing attempts through the air be complete coming into this game, 551 yards and 8 touchdowns.
We talked about the depth of Lakota East. They lead the GMC in quantity of players that have at least 1 touchdown on the year at 8. Handoff right to Davis. Mason's got an answer finally. He'll get about 2 yards.
And that play is a lot more of what we saw in the first quarter for the Comets, stuffing Eric Davis after just a 2-yard gain. That one headlined by Caden Evans, the senior captain for the Comets. And earlier I mentioned, you can see number 75, Skylar Horn, the center, looking to add some size on the Comets defensive line. Doesn't play that position very often.
So 2nd and 8 coming up for Lakota East. Kathman's done a great job at quarterback all game. Handing it off to Davis. Davis on the year coming into this game. 77.3 yards per game, 309 total to go along with 5 touchdowns. And he's definitely improved as this game's gone on. We're under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Thunderhawks lead by 7.
Exactly. The 1st quarter, Eric Davis, slow start. They were relying on Charlie Kenrich a lot more, but in the 2nd and 3rd quarters, they've slowly progressed into Eric Davis, the fullback. And a 3rd and 5 opportunity here for the Hawks.
Drop back up the middle. TJ Kathman stopped right in front of the 1st down marker. It'll bring up a 4th down and 2. That's a big stop for Mason.
Exactly, and with all the success that the Hawks have been having on 4th down, there's a chance we could see them go for it. But the smart play here, they're going to bring their punt unit out.
Charlie Kenrick, a lot like Mason with Michael Molnar, they have a skilled position player. Punt away. Kenrick on the year, 8 total punts for a total of 281 yards for an average of 35.1. His longest is 51. High punt, not much of a rush. Fair catch coming and brought in by Mikey Jones, the sophomore. Mason will start their drive at about the 40-yard line.
And last week against Middletown, we saw a lot of Mikey Jones on the offensive end. The past few games, he's been starting at safety for the Comets, and now, last week played both ways, safety and a lot of running back action once they held the hefty lead. Nick Sailors, they gave him a little break. And you know, he showed some promise. He didn't have the burst ability that Nick Sailors had, but he was consistent with 4 to 5 yard gains almost every play.
Shotgun formation, Brown 3-step drop back, escaping pressure, good extra block from Fazad. He's got an open receiver. Lewis's 1st reception of the game for a gain of about 6 or 7.
And yeah, Kobe Lewis, the leading reception for the Comets on the year, 11 receptions, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And as we take a look at this,
it was Nick Sailors, the running back. That's a huge block from the rushing Kevin Corno. As he almost got to Brown, but Sailors with the extra effort, making sure that didn't happen. It's a screen pass out to Garnett. Garnett breaks a tackle and is able to shift under another one to pick up the 1st down, and that's the exciting and explosiveness from Garnett that we see every game. It's only his 1st reception today, and he's already showcasing that in his 1st reception.
Yeah, and we saw in the game against Coleraine, week 3, quick little shuttle pass to Saeed Garnett. He took it 72 yards through the house. And last week against Middletown, they ran that exact same play, quick little screen shuttle pass, ran it 54 yards for a touchdown. So maybe we could see that same play tonight.
Shotgun snap, give it to Sailors. Sailors got a hole in some room. He's inside the 40, going to the 30. Finally brought down at around the 20. How about the offensive line teaming up with Sailors for an explosive play? You could drive a truck through that hole. And then the secondary, Sailors able to make things happen, breaking a tackle and making a man miss inside the 25.
Yeah, we saw that great juke move that Sailors had on the safety, Kyle Poppy. Another one of those Lakota East Thunderhawks that plays both ways. Their leading receiver as well as the starting safety.
1st and 10. Fake handoff, Brown rolling out to his right. Trying, looking for a receiver, and it's caught. In the end zone, Kobe Lewis makes up for his mistake. Bearing an extra point, pending the extra point, Lewis may have tied up this game.
And another one of those throws where Larson Brown took a shot after the play, but able to convert. He throws an absolute missile in between 2 Lakota East defenders. You can see this hit here, and boom. What a throw.
Put it perfectly where no defenders were. And it must be hard. You can speak to this. It must be hard for a guy like Brown who was injured last game and knows he's going to take a hit as Hernandez, second extra point attempt, goes through. Tied up at 20-20. Momentum's been back and forth and back and forth. Finally in the hands of the Comets, and they're able to capitalize. Under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Exactly. And we saw last extra point for the Comets. The snap out of the hands of Zach Rogers, and we saw afterwards Coach Kastner going after Jacob Hernandez, his first ever game. Hey, that wasn't your fault. Next time, very kindly just spoke, gave him the rules, everything what to do. And that time, Jacob Hernandez shows his poise, his athletic poise, the big soccer player, as he knocks that one through the uprights.
He's talking to Hernandez again. As Hernandez able to put one through, thanks to the run from Nick Sailors. Put him in good position for Brown to make a connection to Lewis. Lewis able to get open across the middle. Finally coming up for that touchdown, staying in the end zone. And the Hernandez extra point goes through to tie this one up at 20.
And coming into this game, Ben, I think this game's a lot closer than people were speculating. Lakota East, their only loss to West on the year. Had the big win over Hamilton last week. And Mason has had a shaky year, but the first and third quarters have shown some promise.
Ryan Rominski back to kick. Once again, that's going to bounce inside the 5. A beauty of a kick from Rominski. Trying to run it out is Van Hooser, but he's inside the 20. Van Hooser making the best out of it and able to get up to the 33.
And Ryan Rominski, the senior lefty kicker, couldn't have placed it much better than that. But after some great blocking, a gaping hole for Caleb Van Hooser. We're going to take a look at that replay here as that ball stopped right at the 2-yard line. Jake Bates just misses the tackle there at the 15-yard line, but eventually came down around the 32.
There was a good block there from the Lakota East special teams unit to make sure he gets that yardage. So they're going to begin their drive at the 33-yard line, starting with an I formation. Handoff immediately given to Kenrick, bounces it outside. There's a hold, at least a flag on the play, and we can assume it's a hold. There's another flag that comes out.
And it almost looks like we could have seen 2 holds on the play and the late flag afterwards. Number 4, Kyle Poppy, holding on the right side. Looks like there was a lineman that they called in the backfield.
And Caden Evans with a late hit possibly. Discussing with the officials.
And that late hit would be an unnecessary roughness, making it an automatic first down.
These penalties could offset, though.
And that's what Kastner's signaling on the sideline. He's crossing his hands, or crossing his arms, excuse me.
We're going to wait the call from the referee. So will be a hold on the offense. And then that unnecessary roughness, late hit on Evans.
And you can see here Evans coming from all the way across the field.
Good pursuit from him, and he's just trying to clean up, but Kenrick was already down. And the line judge right there was ready for that. Kenrick, you can see, wanted the call.
And those penalties are going to offset, however.
The 15-yard penalty going against a 10-yard penalty, so it'll be 5 yards for Lakota East.
And the clock starts with 1 minute and 39 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
1st and 5 coming up for the Thunderhawks. Under 2 minutes to go. I formation again. Davis and Kenrick in the backfield. Kenrick the tailback. And he's going to get all he needs for a first down, bringing it out to the 45.
And Charlie Kenrick coming in this game, the second leading rusher for the Lakota East, 179 yards on the year with 3 touchdowns averaging just under 50 yards per game and 7.2 yards per carry.
Yeah, and that's the outstanding stat there, 7.2 yards per carry. Seems like every time Kendrick's getting the ball, he only needs 2 carries to get a first down. A power formation to the left side for Lakota East now. And that's where the rush is going to go, but quickly given to Davis, who's tripped up right at the line, able to lunge forward for about 2. Clock's ticking under a minute.
Yeah, we talked about Lakota East milking that clock down. 30 seconds remain in the third quarter, and Eric Davis not happy with himself, trips up, and only able to pick up 3 or 4. But that's still going to set up a 2nd and 6.
That was a big play made by Skylar Horn, because if he would have got through that hole, there was no one in the secondary. Handoff given to Kenrick, trying to find the first down marker, and it appears he will. Caden Evans' helmet coming off, forcing him to come off the field. 6.9 seconds to stop his clock until they set the chains.
Yeah, exactly. With Caden Evans coming off the field for one play. If I'm Lakota East, I'm going to run it up their throat. Caden Evans has really been the main guy coming in off the second level and finishing those runs. We've seen a lot of Aaron Spears and Skylar Horn recently.
And Lakota East is just going to let the clock run out. So after 3 quarters of play and back and forth football, 20-20, all knotted up here at Dwire Field.
Online. This is media for your community. This is ICRC TV.
Welcome back. Some fourth quarter action. Dwire Field at Atrium Stadium. 20-20, all knotted up. And we've mentioned it before, momentum keeps switching back between both sides, but it's a 1st and 10 in the Comets territory for Lakota East. Kathman trying to run out the outside as Swarmer Comets meets him.
And TJ Kathman saw a lot of mobility from him in the first quarter, not so much in the second and third, but able to pick up 5 yards there, moving it all the way up to the opposition's 40-yard line, 2nd and 5.
And Lakota East has done that effectively all game. But we talked about Mason steps up when it matters. And on those 3rd and 4th downs, Lakota East isn't going to attempt a field goal. They've been able to step up and get that one stop they need. Timely football from Mason's defense. Quarterback keeper from Kathman after the fake. A yard or 2 short of the first.
Yeah, and that quarterback keeper doesn't fool many Mason defenders, but Kathman using his athleticism to push it up for 3 yards. It's going to be a 3rd and short for Lakota East. This is where they're best. The power runs down the middle, 3rd and 4th and short.
It feels this is where both teams are best, Lakota East offense and Mason's defense. In these power formations, Mason's defensive front's been spectacular all game. They're coming with a blitz. And I don't think he got the first down, or they will signal a first down. TJ Kathman went right under center. Immediately dove when he touched the ball.
Yeah, they're going to give him forward progress there. Able to gain a yard on the QB sneak after being pushed back behind the line. So some more mobility we've seen from TJ Kathman to start the 4th quarter.
You see Lane Davidson getting some time defensively at defensive tackle. He's the usual left tackle for Mason's offense. Kathman under center. They run it again. Kenrick meets Guido Jackson at about the 25. Excuse me, 30-yard line. 2nd and 6.
And the story of this game has just been Lakota East's physicality when they've been running the ball, bulldozing through not only Mason's secondary, but even through Mason's D-line and onto the second level to their linebackers for Jake Bates, Caden Evans, and just picking up 4 or 5 yards every carry in the second half as they slowly progress down the field, now at the Mason 30-yard line.
Second and 6, handoff given to Davis. Davis has been spectacular all game, and he gets him inside the red zone. A first down and more for the star Thunderhawk fullback.
And Davis is going to double his average as he picks up 12 on that carry, averaging 6.1 on the year. Setting up a 1st and 16, or 1st and 10 at the 16, excuse me, for the Thunderhawks.
Mason really has no answer for this. And when you see a triple option like Lakota East, Mason's defense against theirs, and then against Colerain's, it's different. Lakota East is getting 4 or 5 yards every carry, but they're not really breaking out. And Colerain breaks out, seems like almost every drive. Kenrick's going to power through to come up 2 yards short of the first down.
Exactly, and that was something I've been meaning to touch on more in the broadcast. Colerain, more of a speed triple option. However, Lakota East bringing the power of Eric Davis, Charlie Kenrick, and then TJ Kathman has a little bit of speed and burst on the outside from the quarterback position. But yeah, Mason struggled against Colerain's triple option, and Lakota East probably watched a lot of film from that Colerain game and looking at where they could punch through holes and kind of confuse the Mason defense.
Lakota East is going to stay with their power formation on 2nd and 2. Only one back in the backfield. Kenrick coming in motion. Kept by Kathman, some flags. And if it's a false start, it's a big miscue. Going the Comets' way. And it will be a false start.
And that's going to be huge. An illegal procedure called on Lakota East. And that 5 yard.
Kenrick hadn't stopped his motion when the ball was snapped.
Exactly. And that 5 yards is going to set the Hawks back. And those 5 yards can make a difference, especially when you're a ground and pound team.
2nd and 7. Mason needs a big stop, whether that comes on 2nd and 3rd. Kenrick tries to find a hole. Mason's linebacker core meets with Lane Davidson to take him down.
He's ultimately going to be stopped short right where he would have been, or right where he was last play before the false start.
3rd and 3 now. What it would seem to be no issue for Lakota East. They're getting that at least 3 yards every single carry of this drive. They haven't thrown the ball once. Maybe you see a throw to try to catch Mason off guard. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, and that could be a touchdown opportunity. Mason loading the box right now. We don't have a lot of people in the secondary. Mikey Jones, the safety, playing far up just at the goal line. So a quick play could drop Mason off guard.
Shotgun. They're just going to keep it to the run game. Kathman this time. And he's going to come up with 6. TJ Kathman. His 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And coming out of the 4th quarter, when it was all knotted up, Lakota East just ground and pound all the way from their own 33 to the end zone. The last play, Caden Evans tried to get him with a shoestring, and J.C. Deaton just wasn't there in time.
This extra point very important. We saw on the first touchdown missed. And that's going to be successful, and when Jake Bates was coming around to block it, he's going to get his feet or his hands tied up in the kicker's feet. But the extra point is good, making the score 27-20, Lakota East. And Ben, this next possession It's going to be huge for the Comets. If they can drive down the field and score, that's not going to leave very much time on the clock. Maybe 2 minutes, depending on if there's a big play that breaks out. If you're the Mason coaching staff, are you going for this? Are you going a risky play and going for 2? Or are you settling for the field goal and potentially sending this game into overtime?
I'm settling for a field goal, an extra point. With Jacob Hernandez, he's been consistent. As long as you get the snap down and everything. And Lakota East is not a team who can be good in a 2-minute situation. Because they run the ball, they don't pass a lot. It's the same thing we talked about with Rain.
I agree 100%. But before all that happens, Comets are going to have to drive down the field. Just under 7 minutes remain in the fourth quarter. The Comets, they need a touchdown to tie this game up. Second half hasn't been as strong as the first. 27-20 the score.
Trevor Hoffman, questionable day for him. Got some momentum back, able to knock the extra point through. But he had that missed chip shot field goal earlier in the game.
You can see the ball placed at the East 45-yard line. That's going to be because of the roughing the kicker. So it should be an easy touchback opportunity for Hoffman.
Hoffman set to kick. That one's going to sail and hit the goalpost. So you can see how much that extra field position helps.
Very crucial drive for the Comets as they're trotting onto the field.
An updated storyline. The Reds lead the Los Angeles Dodgers 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Kyle Farmer coming strong. I know we have differing views on who we want to win this game. Playoff race, obviously I'm a big Reds fan, and you're a big fan of the enemy, St. Louis Cardinals, who hold that wild card spot. So we'll be watching that game. As it's nice to have some baseball that matters in September in Cincinnati. But from tonight, drive coming out from Brown, handoff to Sailors. He's going to pick up 2.
Yeah, and Sailors only able to pick up a few yards on that carry. Showed some patience by waiting, but the hole never came through, so you just had to drive that one up the middle behind the big Skylar Horn, number 75. They couldn't make much out of it. 2nd and 8.
So it looks like they might try to go that Lakota East route and just ground and pound. They like to run it up the middle a lot with Sailors. But Brown's going to drop back, try to find his receiver, and under through Molnar. Looks like Molnar wasn't ready for that anyway.
Yeah, and they had the route. Pass just wasn't exactly where Michael Molnar was expecting. A little to the left and a little low. Not what you're wanting on a comeback route. But Larson Brown, the junior, he's still learning. Only 3 starts in his young career. And Jaden Palmori-Lett trying to hype up the Lakota East student section. It's a very important 3rd and 7 here for the Mason Comets.
Lakota East coming with a lot of energy. When you're in the offensive student section, you want to be calmed down. Let your offense think. Rolling out to his right, Brown looking for Garnett. He's got his receiver to midfield. The connection from the junior Larson Brown to the senior Saeed Garnett is good for about 20.
And we're going to take a look at that replay. Brown rolling out to his right and throws an absolute dime to Saeed Garnett just short of midfield. It's a huge, huge conversion for the Comets as it's 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line.
Brown's got twins to his left. We're going to start the first down with a handoff up the middle. Solid yardage from Sailors.
And with 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the game, you know, Mason has two ways they can go here. They can try to dart down the field, score right away, give Lakota East another chance to score, and maybe the Comets another one after that. But being smart here, kind of running the clock out, hoping to score with limited time left on the clock.
Michael Molinar, Saeed Garnett, Kobe Lewis, the powerful wide receiver trio for the Big Green. And Brown kept it himself and got stuffed up by two-way star Charlie Kenrick. It's going to be a significant loss of yardage. And you see Brown, it was a read option. He didn't see Kenrick coming across. He should have handed the ball off to Sailors, as Sailors may have had a hole.
I was just about to say, you can see the hole created by Skylar Horn and Dominic Bomarito in the right center of the line. I mean, there was just nobody there. Larson Brown with the poor decision.
So the 5-yard rush from Sailors is neutralized. 3rd and 9 coming up. Brown in shotgun, 5-step drop back, and he's not able to find Molnar on the sideline. That's bringing up a big 4th down. We're going to see if Mason keeps their offense onto the field. And they are. Probably a smart move. Or a late switch. They're bringing the punt team onto the field.
And something you got to remember, Michael Molnar, he's back at punter, but he's an athlete. He's got a lot of quarterback experience as well, so we could potentially see a fake here.
You can see the Lakota East defensive special teams unit telling each other too, be ready for the fake. We've seen that from Molnar a couple times.
Maybe watch a delayed punt here. Oh, and they're going to do a fake.
Snap to Evans. Evans stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. A turnover on downs on the fake punt. Right at about the 50-yard line. Lakota East will take over at midfield with a 7-point lead.
And Ben, I don't disagree with going for it on 4th down there, but that is not the play I would have gone to. Michael Molnar, we've seen this a lot in the first few games. Could have had the hesitation punt, almost like a read option for a punt. If he saw somebody open, he could pull it out and throw it, and if not, punt it away, pin Lakota East back. But that time, snap it right to Caden Evans, and only able to pick up a few yards, and that's not going to be enough. As Lakota East will have it at midfield.
50-yard line now. And what's big about this is Lakota East is so good at milking clock. Hand off to Davis, only able to gain about a yard.
This is the defense that Coach Kastner and Coach Falk are looking for, especially late in the game. 4 minutes remain. Lakota East definitely milking that clock, taking their time in the huddle. The big tight end, Ben Stowe, checking in for the Hawks.
Second and 8 coming up for Lakota East. They're content with letting the clock run down. Kathman off tackle, keeps it himself. And he's going to find the 1st down marker. 3:34 to go. The chain movement stops the clock.
And the quick run there by Kathman. We've seen a lot of that today. Averaging around 7 yards per carry tonight. And that's all they needed. They barely pick up the 1st down.
So 1st and 10 for Lakota East at Mason's 40-yard line. Another handoff up the middle. It's what we've seen. Feels like every other play. Davis powers through for 7.
And you can see the Mason defense is just worn out. It's been time after time. Eric Davis, Charlie Kenrick, TJ Kathman just pounding it down the Mason's throat. Picking up 7 there. And taking their sweet old time as they break the huddle. 2 minutes and 38 seconds remain.
Mason does have all 3 timeouts remaining, as do the Thunderhawks. Under 2:30 to play. Power formation. Handoff up the middle, this time to the tailback. Kenrick, he has a nice stiff arm. He's able to pick up the first down, plus about 10.
And if you're Coach Castor, clock's starting to wind down. This might be a time where you're wanting to use one of your timeouts.
Even if Mason takes their timeouts, they've had no answer for Lakota East getting 4 or 5 yards every single carry.
Exactly, and that powerful run going to set up a 1st and 10 for the Hawks. The Comet 21-yard line.
Twins to the left of Kathman now. I don't imagine they'd try to pass here. Maybe it was just a Duke, and it's kept by Kathman. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
The first time this drive that we've seen a rush for no gain. And the Comets going to call their first timeout of the half. They've got 2 remaining, 1:38 remain in the stretch. So then we've got a 2nd and 9. Mason has 2 timeouts. Lakota East is good field position at the 20-yard line. If you're Lakota, are you just pounding it down your throat?
So a game that's gone back and forth. Momentum has been in the hands of both teams at many different times. We started with a 7-0 lead for Mason. Lakota East scores, unsuccessful on their 2-point attempt. Coming in the second quarter, same. They take the lead. Second 2-point attempt, no good. Go up 12-7. And then able to finally break through and get that 2-point conversion on a 3rd touchdown, taking a 20-7 lead. It looked like Mason was out of it. They bounced back with 2 touchdowns, but they're only to capitalize on one of their extra point attempts. Tied at 20-20, and then Lakota East with a picture-perfect drive, milking clock, and Kenrick running it in for a touchdown. Sitting here, 1:38 at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff given to Kenrick.
The Mason defense finally starting to figure out a little bit of a solution to stop Kenrick and Kathman, Davis, the 3-headed monster, in the Lakota East backfield. The Comets call another timeout, setting up a very important 3rd down and 6. Ben, if Lakota's unable to kind of come up with this stop or with this conversion, with all the success they've been having on 4th down, are you going for this? Or are you settling for trying to kick a long field goal, putting you ahead 10 by 10? That's a 2-touchdown game.
Definitely kicking a field goal here to take that lead. And before this game ends, I mean, we want to give a shout out once again to this terrific crew that's put on an outstanding broadcast. ICRC TV, we're so fortunate to have worked with them. Everyone behind the camera, Josh Semstrat, former Mason grad, directing this broadcast. He's done a great job for Mason coverage in all sports the last few years. And Adam and I know I speak for Adam when I'm saying this, so fortunate of all the opportunities we're given, and they're looking for volunteers. ICRCTV.com. 1:33 to go. He's got a 3rd and 6. Kathman on the outside, he stopped. So they're forcing Lakota East to make a decision here with 1:29 as Mason takes a timeout.
And a very important decision here for the Thunderhawks. You've got a 4th and 2. You're all the way down at the Comets red zone. So with all the success they've been having, this could be an easy conversion, but if you don't get this, you only have the 1 touchdown lead, and you've got a 1:30 on the clock for Mason to potentially run down the field and score.
Hoffman's had some inconsistencies.
Next Friday night to face
But I agree with you, Ben. You said earlier, you're kicking this. They're potentially able to make it a 2-score game. In worst case scenario, you're forcing the Comets to drive 79 yards down the field. So with 1:29 left in the game, A very important 4th down, and looks like they're going to be going for it. 4th and 2 from the Comets' 13-yard line.
That's Kathman. Quarterback with Davis and Kenrick, an I formation behind him. Mason's loading the box. Kenrick rolling outside. He's got the first down. He's still going into the end zone. And a nail in the coffin for Lakota East, putting them up 13, plus the extra point coming. And totally takes the air out of Mason. Any energy or momentum they had left with less than 1:30 to play. How about TJ Kathman all game?
And you know, Ben, there's a reason why he's one of the headliners for GMC Player of the Year. I know it's early on in the season. We're only 5 weeks in, but showing off the speed and athleticism there. As that extra point comes weirdly off the foot of Hoffman.
I think it was blocked possibly. Take a look at it again. But the run from TJ Kathman, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game. Just a breakout year for him. Lakota East can't ask for much more. So unless Mason's able to put together a miracle here with 1:30 left, they're going to start out the season 2 and 3 of the first half. And playoffs were expanded to 12 teams instead of the usual 8. So the majority of teams in the Southwest region of Division I will get in the playoffs. So you feel if Mason's able to go 4 and 6 or 5 and 5, they could make it. But TJ Kathman, we talked about it. He was a player to watch. Coming into this game, 879 all-purpose yards, 558 of those passing, 328 of those were rushing, and he's almost certainly broken that 1,000 all-purpose yard mark on the season.
We talked about the Comets, most likely their record dropping to 2 and 3 on the year. Next week they've got Lakota West. And the Thunderhawks, they fell to West 31-14 earlier on in the season. So that's going to be a tough matchup for the Comets.
Return taken out to the 32. Cade Evans, his first return of the year.
And the Comets looking for a miracle here. 1:20 on the clock. No timeouts. They need 2 touchdowns. The possibilities are low, but hey, there's always hope, Ben.
Sure isn't 100% win percentage for Lakota East, as close as it may be. Crazier things have happened. Brown in shotgun. 2 receivers to his left. Twins to both sides actually rolling right. It's going to be a little screen pass to Lewis. He's going to try to get out of bounds and will.
Smart play by Lewis to get out of bounds there. A little bit of a wonky pass by Larson Brown. That's going to force Kobe Lewis to come to the line of scrimmage instead of about 5 yards off like they had hoped. But still able to pick up 5 yards, making it a 2nd and 5.
Sailors to the left of Brown, Twins to both sides again. Not many defenders in the box for Lakota East. They're playing conservative. And Brown's going to find Lewis for a first down across the middle to midfield. Clock runs though after they set the chains.
Right midfield, first down, Comets.
Hurry up offense, Brown with a lot of time dropping back again. He's got an open Garnett down the sideline. Garnett's able to get out of bounds.
So Ben, a little bit of momentum for the Comets, but it looks like it'll most likely be too late. Only 57 seconds remain. Comets all the way down at the 24-yard line.
They're going to have to score soon and get that onside kick. But a beautiful throw and beautiful job by Garnett to get open. They're at the 24 now. Brown hurrying up. 5-step drop back to the right side. This time finds Bryant Viola, his first catch of the game, to about the 10-yard line.
So 40 seconds on the clock. You're at the opponent's 16-yard line. Looking to draw a quick touchdown play here and hopefully recover an onside kick afterwards. But Brown is in the shotgun to take this one.
This time the defense gets through for Brown, and he's just going to throw it away. Violan was in the area but didn't have a chance.
And a very common theme tonight, Larson Brown taking shots from not only one but two Thunderhawk defenders. And that's going to force the ball to drop a few feet in front of Bryant Violan. Nothing he can do about that one.
Does stop the clock. At the Thunderhawk 16, 3rd and 2. No tight ends, this is formation for Mason. Roll out to the right, Brown, another little dump off to Molnar. Molnar gonna reach across the pylon and gets to the end zone with 27 seconds. So a good job by Michael Molnar, his first touchdown of the game after 4 all-purpose touchdowns last week.
And that just shows the athleticism of Michael Molnar. You can see Brown rolling out to his left.
And Molnar could have easily gone out of bounds, but he didn't want to. He wanted to find the end zone. No fear of the Thunderhawks defense.
And the Comets have not lost hope. 27 seconds remain. We saw in week 2, Centerville recovering the onside kick, and they eventually drove down the field and won the game. So the Comets hoping to have what happened to them in week 2. Flip ways and happen to them.
Extra point attempt from Hernandez is good. Hernandez has had a pretty good day. Mason maybe has found their consistent extra point and field goal kicker in Hernandez. 27 seconds left to go. Everyone in the stadium knows what's coming.
Exactly, and even the Lakota East fans, the student section, they're lined up on the bleachers. They've come down from their rowdy zone, as we may call it. Everybody's on their toes, waiting for the onside kick opportunity. You can see there the Jersey night theme, hippies and 70s theme for the Comets student section, the black hole. And trotting on the field, Comets looking to get that onside kick. Everybody knows it's going to happen. Let's see if they can convert.
Back to kick it now for Mason. That's going to be Michael Timmons. Rominski, the usual kick or place kicker, but they feel Timmons is better for onside kick. It's going to be a whistle.
And that one not great by Michael Timmons, right into the hands of Lakota East defender, but thankfully it's going to be a Hawk timeout.
Mason's got another chance. Castor will be telling Timmons what exactly to do.
Something we saw last season, Timmons was the kicker. A little bit of a misdirection. Looks like they're going to go right, but then come back and kick it to the left. So potentially we could see that here. Coach Kastner always liking to add his own flair and switch things up. But Timmons staying on the field for the Comets.
Onside coming from Timmons. Both teams lined up and ready for it. And recovery, Charlie Kenrick. That most likely puts the seal on the game. With no timeouts left to use for Mason. Lakota East will be content with going in victory formation and just kneeling it. And that kick was just right to Charlie Kenrick, and a good high IQ play by Kenrick to just go down immediately as he fields it. And signaling it's over. Kenrick had a beautiful game. The trio of Kenrick, Davis, and Kathman was just enough to give Lakota East a 33-27 victory coming into Atrium Stadium and Dwire Field and snatching it from the Comets. It was back and forth all game. Mason struck first, but Lakota East was stronger in the end for a 6-point win.
Yeah, and you know, the first couple quarters, looked like Mason had a little bit of an advantage. You didn't expect that coming into this, but Lakota East ultimately able to come out on top. I've been Adam Little, joined alongside my partner Ben Haller. Lakota East Thunderhawks coming out on top 33-27. Have a great rest of your night.
Next week, right here at Dwire Field at Atrium Stadium, it'll be Lakota West and the Mason Comets. We expect another good one just like tonight. 33-27.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help to control your area, pick up the litter, take it to the trash cans. Mason Maintenance staff appreciate your help on that. Thank you for attending tonight's game.
Appreciate it.